Hello, my name is Pastor Kris Kollar. I'm pastor of Pleasant Valley Lutheran Church near Malabar Farm State Park and St. Paul Lutheran Church in Lucas, Ohio. Greetings. We are reading through the Bible with commentary. We are in the book of First Chronicles, which frankly is a tough stretch to be reading through out loud because there's about 9 chapters worth of names. And it's name. And if we're going to read the whole Bible, as I've said before, if we're going to read the whole Bible, we're going to read the whole Bible in order, including all these names. And secondly, as I've said before, I know that I don't pronounce them correctly because I am not a Hebrew person living 3,000 years ago. So I will make my best guess. I do have some accents and diacritical marks. It helps me a little bit, but I'm sure that I mispronounce them. And when we get down to it, as much as I try to get things right, we don't know how they pronounced it 3,000 years ago. We're going to hear a lot about priests for the first half. And apparently the writer of Chronicles was very interested in the priests and kind of in showing the continuing of the priests from the beginning into the present. This was written while they were in exile in Babylon, probably. Or possibly after they came back, but probably while they were in exile. So, chapter 6 of First Chronicles. The sons of Levi, Gershom, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Kohath, Amri, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The children of Israel, Aaron, Moses, and Miriam, which is how you know that they were priests. Well, they were Levites, but then within the Levites there's priests and there's other things, which is what we'll be hearing about. The sons of Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Eleazar became the father of Phinehas, Phinehas of Abishua, Abishua of Bukai, Bukai of Uzai, Uzai of Zerahiah, Zerahiah of Meraioth, Meraioth of Amariah, Amariah of Ahitub, Ahitub of Zadok, Zadok of Ahimaaz, Ahimaaz of Azariah, Azariah of Jehonan, and Jehonan of Azariah. It was he who served as a priest in the house that Solomon built in Jerusalem. So in my preliminary reading about this, apparently they do leave out a few of the names of a few of the priests, but they also highlight a few of them. So Azariah is the one that was serving under Solomon. Azariah became the father of Amariah, Amariah of Ahitub, Ahitub of Zadok, and Zadok of Shallum, Shallum of Hilkiah, Hilkiah of Azariah, Azariah of Seraiah, Seraiah of Jehozadak. Jehozadak went into exile when the Lord sent Judah and Jerusalem into exile by the hand of Nebuchadnezzar. So when the southern kingdom was taken, that was the high priest at the time, Jehozadak. The sons of Levi, Gershom, Kohath, and Merari. These are the names of the sons of Gershom, Libni and Shimei. The sons of Kohath, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi. These are the clans of the Levites according to their ancestry. Of Gershom, Libni his son, Jahath his son, Zimna his son, Joah his son, Iddo his son, Zerah his son, Jeriathrai his son. And of course these are son of. It's not that these are all son of that. They're the grandson. The sons of Kohath, Abinadab his son, Korah his son, Asir his son, Elkanah his son, Abiasaph his son, Asir his son, Tahath his son, Uriel his son, Uzziel his son, and Shaul his son. The sons of Elkanah, Amasai and Ahimoth. Elkanah his son, Zophai his son, Nahath his son, Eliab his son, Jeroham his son, Elkanah his son. The sons of Samuel, Joel, his firstborn, his second Abijah. The sons of Merari, Mali, Libnah his son, Shimei his son, Uzzah his son, and Shemiah his son, Haggiah his son, and Asaiah his son. Verse 31. These are the men whom David put in charge of the service of song in the house of the Lord, after the ark came to rest there. They ministered with song before the tabernacle of the tent of meeting until Solomon had built the house of the Lord in Jerusalem, and they performed their service in due order. These are the men who served, and their sons were Of the Kohathites, Heman, the singer, son of Joel, son of Samuel, son of Elkanah, son of Jeroham, son of Eliah, son of Toah, son of Zuph, son of Elkanah, son of Mahath, son of Amasai, son of Elkanah, son of Joel, son of Azariah, son of Zephaniah, son of Tahath, son of Asir, son of Abiasaph, son of Korah, son of Ishar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, son of Israel. And his brother Asaph, who stood on his right, namely, Asaph, son of Berechiah, son of Shemiah, son of Michael, son of Baasiah, son of Malchijah, son of Ethni, son of Zerah, son of Adiah, son of Ethan, son of Zimmah, son of Shimei, son of Jahath, son of Gershom, son of Levi. On the left were their kindred the sons of Merari, Ethan, son of Kishai, son of Abdi, son of Maluk, son of Hashabiah, son of Amaziah, son of Hilkiah, son of Amzi, son of Bani, son of Shemer, son of Malai, son of Mushi, son of Merari, son of Levi. And their kindred the Levites were appointed for all the service of the tabernacle of the house of God. So Levi had 3 sons, the Levites, but then there's clans, and so only the one clan is the priests, and the rest are musicians and people who work in the temple when it was a tabernacle, setting it up and tearing it down and helping out with all of the temple stuff. So most of the Levites do that kind of work. Verse 49, but Aaron and his sons made offerings on the altar of burnt offering and on the altar of incense, doing all the work of the most holy place, to make atonement for Israel, according to all that Moses the servant of God had commanded. These are the sons of Aaron: Eleazar his son, Phinehas his son, Abishua his son, Bukai his son, Uzai his son, Zerahiah his son, Meraiah his son, Amariah his son, Ahitub his son, Zadok his son, Ahimaaz his son. Verse 54, these are the dwelling places according to their settlements within their borders to the sons of Aaron and of the families of the Kohathites, for the lot fell to them first. To them they gave Hebron in the land of Judah and its surrounding pasture lands, but the fields of the city and its villages they gave to Caleb son of Jephunneh. To the sons of Aaron they gave cities of refuge: Hebron, Libnah with its pasture lands, Jatir, Eshtemoa with its pasture lands, Hilan with its pasture lands, Debir with its pasture lands, Ashan with its pasture lands, and Bethshemesh with its pasture lands. From the tribe of Benjamin, Geba with its pasture lands, Alimeth with its pasture lands, and Anathoth with its pasture lands. All their towns throughout their families were 13. So when we were reading earlier in the book of Joshua, we learned that all of the tribes were given an inheritance in the land of Israel except for the Levites. They were given cities, and they got pasture lands around their cities, but the Levites were all spread out all throughout the entire country, north and south. The northern part by this time has been exiled into Assyria and has disappeared. They never came back because Assyria would spread them out and basically take away all their identity. But the southern kingdom did eventually come back, and the southern kingdom would have had mostly Judah, but also people from Benjamin, because they were right next to each other, and it was part of the south, and the Levites who lived in Judah, and the Levites who lived in the area of Benjamin, which is what we just read about. So the Israelites became known as Jewish because of Judah, but actually it's Judah, Benjamin, and Levi who were collectively exiled into Babylon and then eventually came back. There probably were some people from other tribes, which is, as we read some of the other tribes, probably where that information came to for the person who wrote the Chronicles. But most of the northern tribes were deported and never seen again. Except for the ones that fled to the south in time, and then they were deported with the southerners. But those got to come back. So where was I? Verse 61, to the rest of the Kohathites were given by lot out of the family of the tribe, out of the half-tribe, the half of Manasseh, 10 towns. To the Gershomites, according to the families, were allotted 13 towns out of the tribes of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and Manasseh and Bashan. To the Merarites, according to their families, were allotted 12 towns out of the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the people of Israel gave the Levites the towns with their pasture lands. They also gave them by lot out of the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin those towns that are mentioned by name. Verse 66. And some of the families of the sons of Kohath had towns of their territory out of the tribe of Ephraim. They were given the cities of refuge, Shechem with its pasture lands in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer with its pasture lands, Jokmeam with its pasture lands, Beth-horon with its pasture lands, Aijalon with its pasture lands, Gath-rimmon with its pasture lands, and out of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Aner with its pasture lands, and Beliam with its pasture lands, for the rest of the families of the Kohathites. So cities of refuge were a place where if you accidentally killed somebody, you could run away to the city of refuge, and the avenger of blood, the person who's killed best person, so you killed my sister, now you have to die, you could run away to a city of refuge, and they couldn't just kill you, and there had to be a trial. Now, if they found that you intentionally murdered, capital punishment was still the case. But if it was accidental manslaughter, then you had to stay in that city of refuge until the high priest died, and then you could return to your area, but you were still away from the area where you had committed your crime. So kind of like a house arrest in a city, probably not your own city, probably somewhere a little further away. So the Levites were given the cities, especially the cities of refuge, where they could have people do that. Verse 71. To the Gershomites out of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Golan in Bashan with its pasture lands, and Ashtaroth with its pasture lands. Out of the tribe of Issachar, Kedesh with its pasture lands, Daberath with its pasture lands, Ramoth with its pasture lands, and Anam with its pasture lands. Out of the tribe of Asher, Mashal with its pasture lands, Abdon with its pasture lands, Hukok with its pasture lands, and Rehob with its pasture lands. And out of the tribe of Naphtali, Kedesh in Galilee with its pasture lands, Hammon with its pasture lands, and Kiriathaim with its pasture lands. To the rest of the Merarites out of the tribe of Zebulun, Rimono with its pasture lands, Tabor with its pasture lands, and across the Jordan from Jericho, on the east side of the Jordan, out of the tribe of Reuben, Bezer in the steppe with its pasture lands, Jaza with its pasture lands, Kedemoth with its pasture lands, and Mephaath with its pasture lands. And out of the tribe of Gad, Ramoth and Gilead with its pasture lands, Mahanaim with its pasture lands, Heshbon with its pasture lands, and Jazer with its pasture lands. Name. But it's actually kind of cool as I'm reading through here. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that city. As we've been hearing the different histories and the different fights and the different wars and the different people that were raised up, and the different people go to different cities, most of these cities were listed as places that people were either running away from or running to or having a war. So these were places in Israel 3,000 years ago. Chapter 7. The sons of Issachar, Tola, Puah, Dashub, and Shimron, 4. The sons of Tola, Uzai, Rephaiah, Jeriel, Jamai, Ibsam, and Shemuel, the heads of their ancestral houses, namely Tola, mighty warriors of their generations, their number in their days of David being 22,600. The sons of Uzziah, Isaiah, the sons of Isaiah, Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishiah, 5, all of them chiefs, and among them, by their generations, according to their ancestral houses, were units of the fighting force, 36,000, for they had many wives and sons. Their kindred belonging to all the families of Issachar were in all 87,000 mighty warriors enrolled by genealogy. Verse 6. The sons of Benjamin, Bela, Becher, and Jediael, 3. The sons of Bela, Esbon, Uziel, Jeremoth, and Iri. 5. Heads of ancestral houses, mighty warriors, and their enrollment by genealogies was 22,034. The sons of Becher, Zemira, Joash, Eleazar, Elioenai, Omri, Jeremoth, Abijah, Anathoth, and Alemeth. All of these were sons of Becher, and their enrollment by genealogies, according to their generations, as heads of their ancestral houses, mighty warriors, was 20,200. The sons of Jediael, Bilhan, the sons of Bilhan, Jeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Chenaanah, Zethan, Tarshish, and Ahishahar. All of these were the sons of Jediael, according to the heads of their ancestral houses, mighty warriors, 17,200, ready for service in war. And Shupim and Hupim, two great names, we've had those before, Shupim and Hupim, were the sons of Ir, Hushim, the son of Aher. Verse 13, the descendants of Naphtali, Jaziel, Gunai, Jezer, and Shallum, the descendants of Bilhah. Verse 14, the sons of Manasseh, Asriel, whom his Aramean concubine bore. She bore Machir, the father of Gilead, and Machir took a wife for Hupim and for Shupim. The name of his sister was Maacah, and the name of the second was Zelophehad, and Zelophehad had daughters. Maacah, the wife of Machir, bore a son, and she named him Perish. The name of his brother was Sheresh, and his sons were Ulam and Rekem. The sons of Ulam, Bedan. These were the sons of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, and his sister Hamolecheth bore Ishhad, Abiezer, and Mala. The sons of Shemida were Ahiran, Shechem, Lichai, and Anaim. Verse 20, the sons of Ephraim, Shuthelah, and Bered his son, Tahath his son, Eliada his son, Tahath his son, Zabad his son, Shuthelah his son, and Ezer, and Elihad. Now the people of Gath, who were born in the land, killed them, because they came down to raid their cattle. And their father Ephraim mourned many days, and his brothers came to comfort him. Ephraim went into his wife, and she conceived and bore a son, and he named him Beriah, because disaster had befallen his house. So that, of course, that means Beriah means disaster. His daughter was Sheerah, who built both lower and upper Beth-horon and Uzal-sheerath. Repha was his son, Resheph his son, Telah his son, Tahan his son, Ladan his son, Ammihud his son, Elishama his son, Nun his son, Joshua his son. Their possessions and settlements were Bethel and its towns, and eastward Naaran, and westward Gezer and its town, Shechem and its towns, as far as Aya and its towns, also along the borders of the Manassites, Bethshean and its towns, Taanach and its towns, Megiddo and its towns, Dor and its towns. And those lived the sons of Joseph, son of Israel. Verse 30, we're almost there. Verse 30, the sons of Asher, Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, Beriah, and their sister Sarah. The sons of Beriah, Heber and Malchiel, who was the father of Birzaath. Heber became the father of Japhet, Shomer, Hotham, and their sister Shua. The sons of Japhet, Pesach, Bimhal, and Ashvath. These are the sons of Japhet. The sons of Shemer, Ahai, Rogha, Huba, and Aram. The sons of Helam, his brother, Zophah, Imnah, Shelesh, and Aimal. The sons of Zophah, Shua, Harnepher, Shual, Beri, Imnah, Bezer, Hod, Shema, Shelah, Ithran, and Beria. The sons of Jether, Jephunneh, Pispa, and Era. The sons of Ulah, Aaron, Haniel, and Rizaiah. All of these were men of Asher, heads of their ancestral houses, select mighty warriors, chief of the princes. Their number was enrolled by genealogy for service in war was 26,000 men. And no, we're not done. We have a couple more. Actually, that was the worst of it. I think 2 more chapters with names, and I think chapter 9 doesn't have as many, like not the whole chapter. So, we're going to get through it. And you can just either use this as a lullaby to put you to sleep. You can laugh at me for mispronouncing all these names. If you're a biblical scholar, I'm so sorry. I'm sure you know way more about this than I do. But we do what we can. And really, that's a lot of what we all do, is we all do what we can to try to be faithful, to follow God, to read His Word, to find ways that it will apply to us, and to do the best that we can at that. I heard this great quote this week, that perfect is the enemy of the good. And that perfection is, in fact, the enemy of the good. If I try to be perfect, then I would maybe never even do this. And it's better to do it than to not. And when somebody reads in church, and how do I pronounce this? Well, this is how I pronounce it, but who knows how it really was pronounced 3,000 years ago. Do whatever way you want, whatever feels appropriate in terms of pronunciation. And as I said that, I thought, but don't do whatever you want in terms of there are things that are wrong and things that are right. And we do want to try to strive to live in a way that is right before God. So we do want to try to figure out what God is telling us to do and then to go do it. So if God is calling you to something today, then I encourage you to hear what God is telling you to do and to consider how you can be faithful to what God is calling you to do. I know that number one is God calls us to love Him with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love other people as we love ourselves. And as I know how self-centered I am, I don't think I love other people nearly as well as I love myself. So it's an ongoing battle, but we all have to do our best to try to follow God as best as we can. And one last comment with all these names. I think I might have said this at the last session. I recently met somebody named Abigail, and first time I met her, she was like, yes, and she went into the Bible to find her name and to see where she is in the Bible. And when these books were written, when Chronicles was written, the people would have remembered, they would know that they were part of which tribe, and they would want to go and see their tribe and their ancestors and know where they fit in the whole story of God and where they fit in that story. And of course, we all want to know that we have a place in the story, and you have a place in God's story. Your name might or might not be there in the scriptures, but you have a place in God's heart, and you have a place in God's story. And now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord look at you with favor and give you peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace. Serve the Lord. Like, subscribe, comment, and we will see you again next time. Thanks so much for being here. Bye-bye.